Hey everybody, Madeleine here to talk about Jupiter squaring the nodes. So what that means is Jupiter is right in between the south node and the north node. Now the south node is our past and what we're leaving and we're moving away from. And the north node is where we're headed. It's our future. So when Jupiter is right in between, it's hasn't it's like two poles. Is it let go of the past and are we ready to jump into the future and let go of the pole from our past and step into the future, the north node? That's what the north node wants us to do. And the south node is our past where we're comfortable. It's our comfort zone. And with the south node in Virgo, we're literally releasing old habits, old patterns of operating that don't serve us anymore, that aren't creating the results that we need. When you have Jupiter in between the nodes, the two nodes, the north node is our destiny where we're reaching. We're in between there and we're realizing that we haven't achieved something. We're not going to make it to the north node unless we make a new decision. We change our mind. We're literally at a crossroad when the Jupiter squares the nodes. Jupiter is our dharma, our calling, our purpose, our raison d'etre. It's bold, it's courageous, it's optimistic. It wants to grow, it wants to reach new heights. It's very open-minded, unlimited thinking. It's squaring the south node in Virgo, which is detailed oriented, perfectionism, the micro. So what Jupiter wants us to do is to let go of that critical thinking, the perfectionism, the detailed oriented vision, because we're not seeing the bigger picture. Jupiter wants us to look at the big picture because when Jupiter crosses the nodes, we're at a crossroad, we're at a cross point where we have to make a new decision. We have to sort of change what we're doing because if we don't, we're too rooted in the past. We're too rooted in doing things the way we did in the past. And Jupiter rules Pisces, which is very interesting because Jupiter rules Pisces. The North Node is in Pisces. Jupiter is in the sign of Gemini, which is ruled by Mercury, and Mercury rules Virgo. So we're really trying to stretch the mind. We're releasing the lower mind, the what do we call it? That sort of picky um, irrelevant stuff that we get hung up on that isn't necessary, that isn't part of the grand picture. So Jupiter in Gemini wants us to open our minds, wants us to experience higher mind, wants us to expand our thinking, learn new things, reach higher than the past. Don't be stuck in the past. If we're right now we're at that in-between point where we could look at the past and say, am I ready to leave the past? Have I learned from the past? Some people may stay in the past. Some people may say, no, I'm too comfortable and happy here. I don't want to stretch out. Basically, the south node is the castle and the north node is the jungle. I'm safe in the castle. I'm scared out in the jungle. You're reaching out for the jungle and going out into the jungle. You have the universe supports you and the divine is behind you and does protect you. So when Jupiter is squaring that south node, it's saying it's time to release the past. Don't focus on the past. Oftentimes the Virgo south node is reflecting on blame, self-critical, shame or blame around the past. And that keeps you stuck in it, fixated on something broken from the past that is just better to walk away from and let it go, which is what the North Node wants us to do. Because the North Node wants us to go release the busy mind, that busy, chattery mind. The North Node in Pisces wants us to go into a silent mind, the peaceful mind, the mind where we are open, where we can now receive downloads and higher consciousness messages, be guided by the higher realm. I'm going to go ahead and share the chart here and show you what I'm talking about. So here we go. Jupiter at 24 degrees, making an exact square to the nodes, if I can find them. There's the south node. Jupiter, where's Jupiter? Why do I feel There's Jupiter. There we go. Okay, so there's Jupiter squaring the north node 25. This is going to last all week because Jupiter is a slow moving planet and the nodes are going backwards and Jupiter's going forward, but they're meeting right now. So there's that square to the south node, which is to let go of old patterns, old things that worked, old ways of seeing things, being small-minded, picky-minded, not forgiving, like holding on to resentments, holding on to stressful mind chatter. And instead, it wants us to release and go into the quiet mind and go into spirituality more and seeking our soul dharmic purpose and finding spiritual liberation and not sweating the small stuff. That's another way of saying it, right? And then Jupiter, but the main thing that this transit is trying to do is to get us on a aligned path to doing what we're doing too much of the past things that aren't working anymore. And so we're supposed to learn to do something new, to switch, to shift our modality or shift the way that we've been operating. And I know a lot of people are feeling very financially tight right now, and that businesses and the economy seems very, very slow right now. That's two reasons. One, because we've had Venus next to Saturn, which always oppresses the economy. And the other thing is we're building a Jupiter Saturn square, which will also oppress or depress the economy. Now, the point of that from an astrological perspective is that we are stopped and slowed down so that we can reevaluate our path and change our approach and make a new decision and tackle the problem from a different mindset. So when things stop, we're forced to sort of reevaluate and find a new approach. And that new approach is going to be what sustains us. It's going to be that missing thing. Because when we're moving to the north node and we're leaving the south node, we're going somewhere. We're adding, we're learning, we're growing. So we have to leave what we know that worked for us in the past and then reach for higher knowledge, reach for new approaches, experiment, learn something new. Find out, like for instance, if you're on a social media platform, start taking a social media class or anything that can expand the mind, because Jupiter, Gemini is to expand the mind. Just going to quickly look at my notes for a minute. Um, so when we have this is by the way called a skip step when Jupiter or any planet is squaring the nodes, you can either jump a level and suddenly expand beyond where you're currently positioned, or you can be delayed in your journey because you have to know something, you have to go back and we have to redo something, and you've missed a lesson or you've missed a stage of development. And that's happening with the skip step with this north node, south node, Jupiter. People are blocked. Those squares block things. Your purpose, your calling, Jupiter, you're on your path, stopped so that you evaluate and become acquainted with the thing that's going to enable you to succeed on that Jupiter journey. So you have to stop, reassess your motives and what you know how to do, and you have to now acquire more knowledge or more information or understanding what you have to do differently, because Jupiter in Gemini wants you to intellectualize, um, find logic. Gosh, I have this in my notes. Intellectualize, where are the words? Intellectualize, plan, strategize, um, basically you want to look, see, because we're in that square from the south node, we're going to let go of the past, we're going to leave the past behind, but before we do that, we're going to learn lessons from it, then we're going to strategize to the new future. So we're leaving the past, and when we're in the middle here, we're in a big spot here where we're making that decision whether we go forward or whether we stay in the past. Some people stay in the past, some people don't live their north node. It is free will to live your north node, to head on your Jupiter Dharma, because sometimes at this point it's too scary and confusing, or you don't feel financially solvent enough to go towards the dream or to reach or to take that risk. Usually you are, because it may seem that way right now because things seem tight, but that's just Saturn working in our lives, trying to get us to reevaluate and to change our approaches so that we are more limitless minded, so that we expand to the full potential of what we're here to do. Whereas if we just keep doing it the way we keep doing it from the past, the way we've been doing it in the past, there's no growth, there's no development. So you see, Jupiter is the whole picture. Jupiter wants us to see the whole picture. Virgo's the tiny details. Jupiter rules Pisces. It's in the sign of Gemini that rules Mercury. So it's a lot to do with our our processing, our mentality, our thinking. And so we're releasing the old perspectives, the old ways of doing things, and we're shifting into learning and to discover a new horizon. So I'm just running through my notes before I shut down on or say end this podcast or this report. So yeah, we're letting go of perfectionism. And we don't want to be focused too much on our south node. If we're focused too much on our south node, um, we're holding on to the past. We're stuck in the past. Are we stuck or are we moving forward? Is your energy field still in the disappointments of the things that didn't work out in the past that we're reflecting on, or shall we say, what didn't work, you know? And so do you say, oh, well, it didn't work, I fail, I give up? Or do you say, oh no, I keep going, I'm going to do it differently, I'm going to learn how to do it differently? Um, so it's basically the universe pushing us, to, our souls, to evolve. We're being pushed to evolve, to discover new, limitless abilities that we have inherent. By the way, the South Node always opens us up to our past life skills. We're getting out of that ego block of who we are. Now, the other thing about the South Node Virgo is it's sort of like, um, now Virgo is a critical energy and detailed oriented and can be quite negative. And there's pain in it. So we're letting go of the pain of the past as well. Um, and we're reaching more to a new destination. I put that in. South Node is karmic patterns. I just want to make sure I didn't skip step. If I've skipped any important notes here in my so you do want to, what you're going to be doing on this in this transit is you're going to be evaluating your journey and you're going to be seeing what you need to do differently in order to get to where you want to get to. Like you're most likely, most of us are going to be looking at our situation where we are and going, wow, I wish I was further along. I wish I had gone further along in my endeavor. Well, this skip step right now is stopping us to reevaluate, go back and do something we skipped, a lesson we need to learn, go back and deal with something, or we're going to get shot forward. We're going to skip a step and we know more than we thought and we're progressing further than we thought and Jupiter will come in and shoot us along to that north node quicker. You know, Virgo, the other thing is that Virgo is a humble, they're humble. There's a lot of humility in Virgo. They like to be in the background, shall we say, not necessarily noticed, you know, and we're going the opposite of that. We're going to go bold, courageous. Um, Jupiter wants us to have lots of optimistic, to be extremely optimistic about our future, because if we don't have optimism and faith about the future, then we're really just going to give up. You know, life just isn't going to happen. So we're going to learn from the past and we're going to reinvigorate our faith in the future because we're going to find out during this week, while this square is happening, we're going to get clarity of what we need to do that is different from the past that's going to take us to the future. All right. So I hope that was helpful and do feel free to leave a comment and ask a question. Do tell me what your ascendant is because then in the messages I can tell you what house this will be for you. All right, have a wonderful evening. Namaste.